There's a lot of smoke and hysteria over Jennifer Bonjean's motion. I'm in the process of putting videos together, but I'm not rushing through it. I have to take my time. It's not ready, but I wanted to just drop a quick, video on things that are being said. First and foremost, keep in mind where things were in 2019. Nicole Blank Becker came in when Robert was in the middle of the storm. Mute R. Kelly had cut off all of his money. He had no ability to bring money in, and his assets were frozen. So you had lawyers on deck working pro bono, working for free to help this man because no one else was helping him. No one else was jumping in the fire to help him. So people were working for free. People were on deck to, it's like all hands on deck, help wherever you can. Nicole was not on the New York case back in 2019. She was, I believe, on the Chicago case. And at that time, whatever her contact was with Azriel, it wasn't lengthy. It was brief because Azriel left Robert pretty quickly. So if there was and I don't know anything about it other than what I'm hearing people say, but I have common sense. I know that lady went to court with them. Robert was locked up. If there was an exchange of information, the Gonzalez lawyer, if there was an exchange of information, Azriel left a month, 60 days after that. So there wasn't a huge file because there was nothing to put in the fucking file folder. Common sense says she wasn't on the New York case yet. Any information that was passed from Gonzalez to Nicole Blank Becker was minimal at best. And at that point, Azriel had not flipped. At that point, Nicole Blank Becker was not on the New York case. And at that point, all his money was frozen by the feds, and all of his assets were being seized. He had no money to hire lawyers, so he had to utilize who was already around him. That means everybody had to pull double duty. Everybody had to get in where they could fit in and help this man who was drowning on every level. We get to the New York case. Steve Greenberg is fired. She takes on lead. They have the Curcio hearing. She did not recuse herself because the judge didn't suggest that it happen, nor did the judge remove her, obviously because the element of conflict was not severe enough to remove her. So in Bonjean's motion, she is strictly arguing the wavering of his right. That's on the judge. That's not on Nicole's ability as a lawyer. She's saying the judge did not have the right to waive Robert's rights. And that's going to, or tell Robert to waive his rights. That's going to be an argument that Bonjean is going to have to make with Judge Ann Donnelly, and Judge Ann Donnelly is going to have to cite case law for why she made that decision. So that's between Bonjean's motion and the judge. When it comes to ineffective counsel, Bonjean is putting the responsibility on his entire trial team. The entire trial team was asked to resign. The entire trial team was removed because it's like a basketball team. If this person is ineffective, or if this person is sick, or if this person is injured, or if this person is not pulling up the load, you as a teammate have to step up and take in. But when we look at the transcripts, and everybody has heard the transcripts that are read, I've never heard anyone else's name being read in that transcript other than Kanik. So that tells you Kanik took over the trial. Kanik was lead attorney. In every transcript that everyone has read, the only attorney that has been referred to on the defense is Kanik. So Kanik did have the lead. But she's referring to, in her motion, the jury selection, which is the responsibility of all 4 lawyers who were present. So all of this hoopla over Nicole is unwarranted. Put it in perspective. Keep in mind what was going on in 2019, and keep in mind what specifically Bonjean put in the motion. She said, essentially, the judge could not have waived Robert's rights in however she worded that, because of his, constitutional rights. And the judge will have to respond to that and argue that. It's as simple as that. If it's something that can get Robert out, great. If it doesn't, she made strong arguments on all other points. But the specific point where she named Nicole Blankbecker was specific to the conflict, or what she perceived to be the conflict, between her association with Mr. Kelly and Azriel, which was minimal at best. Obviously, the judge felt it was minimal. The Curcio hearing had an independent counsel, so it's going to be a matter of where the judge can cite legally why she made that decision. So this is the judge's error, if there was to be an error. I'm going to be responding in great detail on this, but I just wanted to drop that because everybody's acting as if Nicole is responsible for the 9 guilty verdicts, and she simply is not. The name that you heard in every transcript was Devereaux Kanik. Devereaux Kanik was the one responsible for the 2-day trial for the defense and the 5 witnesses, and giving the jury 1 sheet of paper to deliberate with. In terms of jury selection, that was the responsibility of all of the lawyers. So more will come out as this is being debated, but this witch hunt for Nicole is absolutely insanity, because she was working for free at a time when Mr. Kelly had no money to hire lawyers. He had no money to hire anyone. That's why he did not fire Greenberg, and he waited so long to get Kanik on. The money wasn't there. So Nicole was filling in where she could. The people that are bashing Nicole are the very people that bashed Greenberg, that talked about Greenberg in every video, every commentary, everything they did on social media, and they turned everyone against Greenberg. They are the ones that started the Get Rid of Greenberg campaign. Every person that's saying, oh, Greenberg would have been good, Greenberg had zero support. None. I am the only person that never bashed Greenberg. I am the only person that never bashed any attorneys until we got the 9 guilty verdicts. And then I went ham on Kanik because Kanik took over the case. So to say you can't blame Kanik, he came in late, bullshit. He took over the case. Nobody stood there and argued and defended those witnesses but Kanik. Nobody put on a 2-day defense case but Kanik. Nobody gave the jury 1 sheet of paper but Kanik. But in this particular case, for this purpose, Bonjean is spraying the club. She's hitting everybody. She's hitting the prosecution, she's hitting the jurors, she's hitting the judge, and she's hitting every member of the trial team. And she's doing whatever she has to do to win. And I think that is the strategy to do. Spray up the club, and whatever sticks, sticks. Whatever gets him out, gets him out. But keep in mind, one person didn't sink this ship. Well, Kanik did sink the Titanic, but and we're here because Kanik put on a 2-day defense case. If he didn't have, I said all along, you guys shouldn't have wrote him to get Greenberg fired. But who was the person that did video after video after video telling you what a horrible job Greenberg was doing? Go back to where you heard that from first. That's why you guys started doing the We Hate Greenberg campaign. And that's why everybody started writing him and everybody started getting rid of his attorneys based on the conversations and the videos that were happening in 2019. So we're here because of a collective